Hey guys, my name is Nogan and welcome to my C++ series. If you guys haven't watched the previous video, it was about arrays with while loop in C++. Go and check it out guys, because in that video we just focus on trying to use now arrays with a while loop in terms of trying to modify your code if you're doing something like, for example, adding 5 numbers together, a basic standard program, and also trying to see out the sum of those numbers. So in this video today guys, we're going to be focusing on trying to use the two-dimensional arrays combined with functions and stuff. But if you guys haven't watched the previous video, I'll link a card on top there, just as a side note, go check it out and come back to this video. So in today's video, as I mentioned, we'll be using our functions with arrays just to make the program that does some output of a certain numbers and stuff. So basically right now guys, what's going to happen is that now outside the main function here, I'm going to include a few variables. Some will be global variables, some will be a few functions. So we'll be using now here global variables. So it will say the first one will be const int rows initialized to 6 in columns initialized to 5. Okay, so after this we'll have now a few functions. Let's include a function prototype. So we'll have void so this function will take now a few form parameters. One will be matrix, index. Now we'll be using now here a couple of functions using a two-dimensional arrays, which means here I'll include another index, because this will be now a two-dimensional array. It can contain columns. Alright, and now do int again, then we'll say rows. Okay, int again. So rows with 2 parameters here. Close again and just leave it there. Close this. Okay. So the matrix function will include a matrix that contains now a column, number of columns. Will include now in the number of columns all the number of rows eventually, as you can see there. Then we'll include another function. This will be another void sum of rows. Take also from parameter, you're gonna take a matrix also, array, two-dimensional. It will contain an empty index and also contain now a columns also. Also contain rows. Then have a large function. The largest now will be in the rows. See output. Okay. There's also a matrix. This function, guys, will share the same variables as you can see here. Columns again. Then int again. It will be rows. Awesome. Okay, so we have now 3 functions here of type void, which means they don't return any return type. So after this, we'll go now to give this function now a definition, which means I'm going to click on Alt Enter and give this function now a definition after the main function, as you can see here. Click on the void name of the function here and click on Alt on your keyboard and enter, and press enter again to give it a definition after the main function, as you can see here. Same thing applies to this function here of now largest in rows. Click on Alt, enter, and enter again to give it a definition. Awesome. As you can see here, we give this function now bodies here. Awesome. After this now, in the main function here, I'm gonna have another variable. Now this variable here. So now in here, guys, in the main function, before we get to the main function, let's first give this function now here the functionality. So the parent function here, I'm gonna say when I say int a row, you get two variables. After this, I'm gonna say now in sum, then in sum, because now in sum will be used in the sum function here. So in here, we're gonna be saying a for loop, which wanna loop through all the rows and columns. So we'll say here row and move the size t. Awesome. Now the length will eventually be the number of rows. Number of rows, and the number of rows eventually will be a function, will be eventually the variable of rows here, as you can see. So after this, I'm going to say now in this for loop, another for loop again. I'm going to say again now here number of columns of this. Now here we'll say number of columns, so you use columns. Right, so after that, say cout. We use now the set w function, but before you do that, you have to include the header file of iStream. So here, so we say now hash include the header file of iManip for manipulators. Okay, because now you include this function here. We're saying set w function. So this function does some sort of like output of a certain size, which means there's 1, 5, and it's be a matrix. And the index now will be rows, and also column. After this here, cout and line. Awesome. So after this now, okay, this function has now its own functionality, as you can see here. So you go to the sum function here. Same thing applies to sum function also, which means sum function will include the same variables, a few of them, rows also, and a column again. But this time we'll include now the sum to output the sum of those variables. So we'll have another for loop again in here. Again, the same thing. We'll also have another row, like this for loop contains a row as the conditions and also initialized variables. Now the length will be the number of rows again. Then afterwards, in the body of this, we have the sum initialized to 0, 0. Then we have now a for loop again for the column. Okay, this. So after this, we'll include the columns. Awesome. Now in the body of the nested for loop here, we'll say again sum is equals to sum plus a matrix, the index of row and column. Row and also column. Awesome. I'm using the same quantities. Okay. So after this, you see now here, cout the sum row 0 plus 1 like here. Awesome. So guys, okay, now the last function here is the largest function, which means we have to also include nice functionality so we can see the largest values in those rows. So in here we're going to say now int again row in column. Now also here we'll say int the largest variable, another for loop again, be nested again. Now we'll say here, just copy this, I just copied this to speed up the process, copy and paste it here. Okay, so what is changing here will be largest here, but now let's remove this because the largest will be largest, but it's equals to matrix index of row, and also 0. Now here, let's remove this. I'm saying here if, because now let's test the condition of the largest. If the which index is the largest comparing it, which means if the largest is less than the matrix, be the row, also column. Awesome. Now in the body of this if statement, the largest equals to matrix. Say now row again and column. Awesome. Now outside this, I'm going to say now here, let's remove this. So the largest element of row plus 1 and largest again. Awesome. Let me close something in here. Awesome. So guys, what's happening is that we're trying to get the largest in the rows, as you see in the output here. But as you can see now, we given these functions, the definitions, also now the functionalities inside of a footprint matrix, and also sum of rows and largest in rows. Now, in the main function here, you have to also now include a formal parameter of two-dimensional arrays. We're going to say now int boards. Now here, going to give them index, going to be, the first will be rows. This is now the global variables in columns also. Okay, initialize this. Let's fix something here. Okay, so in this, we're going to say now, because we have how many rows? 6 rows and also 5 columns, which means we're going to say now here, we're going to include data, which means the data we're going to be just using random data. It's going to be 23, let's say 5, 6, 15, 15 and 18. Okay, so this is now the first index, the first row. The second row now will be 4, 16, 24, 37 and also 10. Okay. now the third index will be 12, 54, 23, 76, and also 11. Then we have 1, 12, 34, 22, and 8. The last index, because now I have 6 rows. Not the last one, the fifth one. 81, 54, 32, 57, 33. Okay. So include the last index. 12, 34, 26, 28, and 9. Awesome. So guys, you can see me semicolon here. As you can see now, we are having a two-dimensional array, as you can see here, of a few variables. But these are now, we have now 6 rows, basically, as you can see, and also 5 columns. Now this is just data now, and as you can see, this is very interesting because now I mentioned in my video about one-dimensional, two-dimensional arrays. I'll link a card on top there. I spoke about how we can use arrays now in terms of as a matrix. In, for example, if you're doing linear algebra, you can use the same application in linear algebra, where you have like a system of linear equations, and you can use it also here, as you can see here, in a system of rows. Let's make this thing nicely. This. Awesome. Now after this, guys, here, I'm gonna call the functions now and say print matrix. Okay. Now here I'll say board function. I use now this. Also just say rows, and also semicolon afterwards. There's 2 parameters. See out again. And we have sum. Contains also board. Rows also. The largest, so last function. Let's do something here. Awesome. So guys, you can see we called out all 3 functions here now. So let's check if there's any syntax errors here. Control-Shift-B to compile the program. Awesome. Let's run this and see our output. Awesome. As you can see, guys, now we have a basic program here. That's something very on point. As you can see, now we have an output now of like our data being given here. It can be student numbers, it can be anything, coordinates and stuff, but the data is given here. And also we see now here the sum of the first row is going to be given by this. The second row, the third, 7th, and 4th, which means we just add in now a few variables together, as you can see here, to get our output. So as you can see, we have the first row here is the numbers of the first row there with 5 elements. As you can see, we add those numbers together, and we have now the value of 67 here, and also the same applies to the second row, the third row for this 1, 7, 6, and also the other rows also. So guys, when you compare this now basically with this the largest function in rows, then you see like which one is the largest, as you can see as output here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, because you can see we're using now arrays with functions to display a few data, or I can say numbers. You can see here. So we're using our functions with arrays to show you guys that how we can use them together. The ball is a program that does something very consistent in functional, as you can see here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment down below if you have any questions, and also enjoy your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell notification, and receive the reports on my channel.